Well, I won't give it away just yet. When Leslie asked me to do this again, I thought, well, I want to do a poet that I really admire and respect, but also maybe one that you don't know so well. So I chose one that we don't hear of too much in Ottawa anyway.
I want to see his face. Yeah.
How's that? Better? So I first encountered this poet when I went to the Dodge Poetry Festival in 2004. Her name is Lucille Clifton, and she really impressed me as being a big woman. She's a big woman. She was a big woman in every way. Big in personality, big in size, big in the way she embraced life, and big in her poetry. A wonderful poet. And for me, she was one of the highlights of Dodge. She was born in 1936. Unfortunately, she died 2 years ago in 2010. But she embraced life with a passion that was infectious. And one of the things she said, which comes out in her poetry is a matter of life, not just a matter of language. She was born in New York in 1936, and she grew up in a black family, of course. Her family roots were West African, Kingdom of Dahomey, now the Republic of Benin. And growing up, she was told by her mother, "Be proud, you're from Dahomey women." She cites as one of her ancestors the first black woman to be legally hanged for manslaughter in the state of Kentucky during the time of slavery in the United States. Girls in her family are born with an extra finger on each hand, a genetic trait known as polydactyly. Lucille's 2 extra fingers were amputated surgically when she was a small child, a common practice at the time, but for reasons of superstition and social stigma. Her 2 ghost fingers and their activities became a theme in her poetry and other writings. And outside the New York City Public Library, there is a plaque which reads, and it's a quote from Lucille Clifton, "They ask me to remember, but they want me to remember their memories, and I keep on remembering mine." She wrote about race, about her 6 children, about family, about illness, about being a woman, a woman's body. She was a prolific and widely respected poet. She, through endurance and strength and adversity, focused on African American experience and family life. She was awarded the Ruth Lilly Poetry Prize in 2007, and the judges remarked that one always feels the looming humanness around Lucille Clifton's poems. It's a moral quality that some poems have and some don't. In addition to the Ruth Lilly Prize, Clifton was the first author to have 2 books of poetry chosen as finalists for the Pulitzer Prize: Good Woman, Poems and a Memoir, and Next, New Poems. Her collection, Two-Headed Woman, was also a Pulitzer nominee and won the Juniper Prize from the University of Massachusetts. She served as the State of Maryland's Poet Laureate from 1974 until 1985. And she won the National Book Award for Boats, New and Selected Poems. She's noted for saying much with few words. In a Christian Century review of Clifton's work, Pezzy Rogenthal commented, "The first thing that strikes us about Lucille Clifton's poetry is what is missing: capitalization, punctuation, long and plentiful lines. We see poetry so pared down that its spaces take on substance, become a shaping presence as much as the words themselves." In an American Poetry Review article about Clifton's work, Robin Becker said, "Clifton's poetics of understatement, no capitalization, few strong stresses per line, many poems totaling fewer than 20 lines. The sharp rhetorical question includes the essential only." and I think you'll see that when I read some of her poems. They're very short, so I'll read a few of them. This first one is about race. My dream about being white. Hey, music and me, only white. Hair a flutter of fall leaves, circling my perfect line of a nose. No lips, no behind. Hey, white me. And I'm wearing white history. But there's no future in those clothes. So I take them off and wake up dancing. She wrote a lot of poems about her body, about being a woman. This one is called My Uterus. Poem to my uterus. You, uterus, you have been patient as a sock, while I have slipped into you my dead and living children. Now they want to cut you out. Stocking I will not need where I am going, old girl, without you. Uterus, my bloody print, my estrogen kitchen, my black bag of desire. Where can I go barefoot without you? Where can you go without me? And this one is my last period. Well, girl, goodbye. After 38 years, and you never arrived, splendid in your red dress, without trouble for me, somewhere, somehow. Now it is done, and I feel just like the grandmothers who, after the hussy has gone, sit holding her photograph and sighing, wasn't she beautiful? Wasn't she beautiful? Wishes for sons. I wish them cramps. I wish them a strange town and the last tampon. I wish them no 7-Eleven. I wish them 1 week early and wearing a white skirt. I wish them 1 week late. Later, I wish them hot flashes and clots like you wouldn't believe. Let the flashes come when they meet someone special. Let the clots come when they want to. Let them think they have accepted arrogance in the university. Then bring them to gynecologists, not unlike themselves. A Dream of Foxes. She wrote a lot about animals too. A Dream of Foxes. In the dream of foxes there is a field and a procession of women, clean as good children, no hollow in the world, surrounded by dogs, no fur clump bloody on the ground, only a lovely line of honest women stepping without fear or guilt or shame, safe through the generous fields. Hag riding. Why is what I ask myself. Maybe it's the African in me still trying to get home after all these years. But when I wake to the heat of morning, galloping down the highway of my life, something hopeful rises in me, rises and runs me out into the road, and I lob my fierce thigh high over the rump of the day, and honey, I ride, I ride. I'll just read two more. This one reminded me very much of Robin Sarah's poem in Echoes in November. Curling them round, I hold their bodies in obscene embrace, thinking of everything but kinship, collards of green, strain against each strange other, away from my kiss-making hand, and the iron bed pot. The pot is black, the cutting board is black, my hand, and just for a minute, the greens roll black under the knife, and the kitchen twists dark on its spine, and I taste in my natural appetite the bond of life things everywhere. And this last one is the one that's probably one of her most popular poems, and whenever she reads at her university, or whether she read at a university, the students always ask for this one, and she read it when we were at Dodge. Homage to my hips. These hips are big hips. They need space to move around in. They don't fit into little petty places. These hips are free hips. They don't like to be held back. These hips have been enslaved. They go where they want to go. They do what they want to do. These hips are mighty hips. These hips are magic hips. I've known them to put a spell on a man and spin him like a top. Thank you. That was Lucille Clifton.